Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll take a moment in a kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your knees, allow your eyes to close, and give yourself 3 or 4 big breaths here. Allow your shoulders to release, feel your breath moving into your chest. And then open your knees and start to walk your hands forward into child's pose. Maybe your forehead comes to meet the mat. Try to stretch your fingertips out long in front of you. And send your breath into the space between your shoulder blades and the expansion you can feel into your back body. And just allow that breath to sink in a little bit deeper. A nice big breath in and full big breath out. We're going to be moving a lot today, nice and fluid through the spine. And we're going to start off by rolling through your spine, bringing your body forward, lifting your ankles, lowering your hips, lifting your chest and your chin. And then on your exhale, push yourself back to a child's pose. You can tuck your toes under as you send your hips back. And continue to move through these 2 positions. And what I want you to think about as you're moving is kind of this wave-like sensation through your spine. So you can roll yourself forward. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears as you lift through your chest and then push your hips back. And then just keep moving this way, undulating through your spine. And allow this to feel like a gentle awakening into your spine. So you go to your own range of motion. Actively push your palms into the ground and keep that space between your earlobes and your shoulders. Now on your last one, keep your hips back, but walk your finger pads forward and lift your chin. This is a puppy dog pose, so your hips are gonna go a little higher up into the air. This is gonna be more of an opening into your chest and your armpits. Actively reach your fingertips forwards and think of pulling your hips away from your fingers. Breathe into the open space in your chest. Nice big breath in and full big breath out. Now push yourself up to tabletop and then from there move to downward facing dog. Actively push your heart space towards your big toes. Spread your fingers nice and wide and lengthen through the back of your neck. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Take nice big breaths in and full big breaths out. Now from here, ripple yourself forward to a high plank and then keep lowering your hips to come into an upward facing dog. So you can have your toes flipped under, push into your palms as you lift your chest. Now lower your knees, send your hips back, really arch through your spine as you send your hips back. Flip your toes under, downward facing dog. We're gonna do that again. So roll yourself forward to your high plank, unfurl through your spine. Continue to lower your hips as you lift your chest and your chin. Your toes are flipped under. Lower your knees and now send your hips back. You feel this nice arch in your spine. Push into your hands, downward facing dog. We take this again, nice cyclical movement. Roll yourself forward into your plank, lower your hips, bend your knees, lower your thighs, and send your hips back. Nice big arch through your spine into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up into the air, bend your right knee, and just take a moment to open through the front of your hips. Continue to actively push into your hands. And now step your right foot so it comes between your hands. Lower your back knee down to your mat. Reach your arms up overhead and open through your heart space as you continually push the hips forward. Bend your elbows and then release your hands down to the mat. Flip your back toes, step yourself forward to a ragdoll forward fold. Start to roll up through your spine. And then release your head and your neck, bend your knees, and roll yourself back down to your forward fold. And we'll continue to move through these undulating forward folds. You're gonna go down into a forward fold and then you'll roll up to stand. It doesn't really have to look like anything. Just wanna feel like you're really moving and articulating through your spine. Now last one, stand up, lift your arms, open your chest, take little goalpost arms, and then release yourself back to your forward fold. Bend your knees, inhale for a halfway lift, and take a moment just to undulate through this position. So halfway lift and then release to forward fold. Push your hands into your shins or your thighs as you move through this. So as you inhale, lengthen through the spine, the back of the neck, and then exhale. Bring your hands down, step your feet back in a plank. Lower your hips down, back into your upward facing dog. Lower your thighs and your knees, and then send your hips back to downward facing dog. Left side, lift your left leg up, bend your left knee and open your hip. Just take a few moments here. You can move around through your ankle if that feels good. And now step your left foot so it comes between your hands and lower your back knee down to the mat. Reach your arms up overhead. Continue to push your hips forward and find lift in your chest as you actively push the hips forward. You could take a little goal post of your arms here. And then bring your hands down to the ground, flip your back toes, come back into your ragdoll forward fold. Once again, roll yourself up to stand and start to move through these undulating forward folds. You can soften through your knees as you roll up and roll down. And again, this just doesn't have to look like anything, but we're doing a lot of movement in this series today just to get your spine really moving, really warmed up. We'll take one more. Stand up, reach your arms up overhead, goal post your arms, find a bit of a back bend, lift your heart up to the ceiling, and then stand up, forward fold, come all the way down. Soft bend with your knees, halfway lift, inhale, and undulate this, exhale to release. We take this a few more times, hands on your knees or your thighs as you find your halfway lift, and then exhale to release. Nice undulating movement. Let your head and your neck be a little bit more involved. Last one, hands down, feet back, high plank. Lower your hips down into your upward facing dog. Keep the lift of your thighs, and then lower your thighs, bend your knees, send your hips back as you arch through your spine, downward facing dog. We're gonna build onto that sequence. Lift your right leg up. Step your right foot so it comes between your hands. Now keep your back knee lifted, but have a little bend of your back knee and reach your arms up overhead. From here, interlace your fingers at the nape of your neck, straighten your back leg and reach your heart up to the ceiling. Keep your front right knee driving forward. Now release your hands down to frame your right foot and try to straighten both of your legs into a big, wide pyramid pose. So we're coming into a nice arch in the spine and then a release. And in this stretch, start to find some undulating movements through your spine. Really allow your head to drop down. And then find just a little bit of a lift, like a flat spine, like a flat back that we've been working through. And now step your left foot forward, your back in a forward fold. Let's bring the toes and heels together to touch. Bend your knees a lot and find a chair pose. Hold this chair pose for a moment, and we're again going to come into some undulating movement in your chair. Bring your hands onto the tops of your thighs and start to move through your spine, round through the spine and then arch through the spine. But keep the deep squat of your legs and keep your legs zippered together as you move through, nice and fluid. Let's do it one more time here. And then you'll stand all the way up, straighten your legs, reach your arms up overhead. Once again, find this nice open back bend. And then release yourself all the way down and forward into your forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift, soften through your knees. Exhale for high plank, bring your hands down, step your feet back. Lower your hips into an upward facing dog, lift your chest, and then lower your knees, send your hips back, arch through your spine, flip your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg, step your left foot, it comes between your hands. Keep your back knee lifted, but find a little bit of a bend with your back knee, and then reach your arms up overhead into a crescent lunge. Bring the palms together, bring your thumbs to the nape of your neck, straighten your back leg as you tip your face and your chest up to the ceiling. Keep your front left knee driving forward energetically. And now release your hands so they come down to frame your left foot, straighten both of your legs, you're coming into a pyramid pose. You could bring your right foot in a little bit, or you could keep it way back behind you into a wide pyramid pose. Start to find a bit of movement through your spine. As you inhale, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, release yourself down. So just some gentle undulating movements here. And if you need to find a bend into your front left knee, go ahead and find that for yourself. Take a few more of these gentle undulating movements. And we'll move back to a forward fold. So you'll step your right foot forward to meet your left as we did earlier. And then from there, move into a chair pose. So bend your knees very deeply, send your hips back, reach your arms up into your chair. Take just a moment in your chair, finding a little bit of activation into the tops of your thighs, and then bring your hands onto the tops of your thighs, and once again, we will find this undulating chair pose. So maybe you're feeling a little bit different on our second time around. Try to keep that nice juicy bend of your knees. And just really allow this movement to happen through your spine, your head, and your neck. And we'll take a few more here, just kind of rocking and rolling through it. Stand all the way up, reach your arms up overhead, maybe take a bit of a back bend, and forward fold, bring yourself down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank, hands down, feet back. Lower your hips down to the mat for your upward facing dog, familiar sequence here. And then lower your thighs, your knees, send your hips back, arch through your spine, lift your hips, downward facing dog. We're gonna take that sequence one more time, a little quicker. Lift your right leg, step your right foot, it comes between your hands. Soften your back knee, you've got a bend of the back knee, reach your arms up overhead. Palms together, thumbs to the nape of your neck, straighten your back leg as you reach your chest up and open. And then exhale, straighten both of your legs for a wide pyramid pose. Take a moment of breath here, and then step your left foot forward. Bend your knees a lot, chair pose. One big breath in, and then straighten your legs all the way up. Find a bit of a back bend. Exhale, forward fold brings you down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale for high plank, bring your hands down. We move through this little sequence. Lower your hips down. Lift your chest, your heart, upward facing dog. Lower your thighs, your knees. Send your hips back, arch through your spine, downward facing dog. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your left leg. Step your left foot, it comes between your hands. Little bend of your back knee. Lift your arms up for crescent lunge. Connect your palms, bend your elbows, thumbs to the nape of your neck. Elbows in, lift your heart as you straighten your back knee. And then exhale, release yourself up and over into a wide pyramid pose. Try to straighten your front left leg. Back heel can be lifted up off the ground. Big breath in. And full exhale. And now step your right foot up to meet your left, toes and heels touch. Bend both of your knees, send your hips back, chair pose, Utkatasana, squeeze the thighs together. Breathe in. Exhale. Straighten through your legs, push your hips forward, find a lift of your chest and your heart. Exhale, forward fold, come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank, move through this sequence again. Hands down, feet back. With control, lower your hips into your upward facing dog, shoulders away from your ears. Lower your knees, your thighs, send your hips back as you arch through your spine, downward facing dog. Give yourself a few moments of breath in downward facing dog. And feel any differences into your spine, maybe feeling a little more warmed up. Roll yourself forward to high plank and then come all the way down onto your belly in your own way. Undulating cobra pose, bring your hands a little wider than your mat, tent onto your fingertips, and then just start to move through this undulating cobra. So you'll press down into your finger pads, roll yourself up to your range of motion, and then release yourself down. And you can take this at your own pace. Again, it doesn't have to look like anything. It just has to feel nice and gooey through your spine. And we'll do a few more here. Just moving at your own pace. Try to involve your head and your neck. Let them be a part of the equation. The neck is part of the spine. And then lower yourself all the way down onto your front. And then roll over onto your back. Once you're on your back, pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a tight little squeeze here. Grab for fingers or wrists or forearms. And you could take a little bit of movement into your hips. I'm going to come into an easy, gentle twist. Keep your right knee pulled in, extend your left leg long. And now bring your right knee across your body to the left for a spinal twist. You can T or cactus out your arms. You can bring your gaze over to the right. Breathe into your belly, and every exhale, allow your twist to go a little deeper. And then slowly bring your right knee back in, give it one last little tug, and we'll just swap sides here. So pull your left knee in, extend your right leg, and now bring your left knee across your body into your twist. You can open up through your arms and bring your gaze over to the left. Breathe into your belly. Nice full big breath in, full big breath out. And then bring your left knee back in, bring your right knee up to meet it. Take one last little moment in your little ball. And then extend your legs so they come long and heavy in front of you. You can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And just give yourself a few moments of stillness and silence with breath. A few moments of gratitude for carving out some time for your own health and your own well-being. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.